Hello and welcome or welcome back to another episode of Can I Come Over Podcast. I'm your host, Jovia, and today I am not, unfortunately, being joined by my lovely co hosts since we are doing video essays again. Hopefully, you guys are now used to the structure of video essays and the format, and hopefully, you've been enjoying it because, as I said, I'm back with another one. The topic that I have found very interesting and therefore have chosen for today's episode is that of glow ups and specifically how they manifest on social media, like the trend of it, the whole ecosystem of it. Um, but before I get into all of that, I want to mention my current obsession, which is Vampire Diaries. So I have been watching Vampire Diaries, I think, for a month now. I am just short of finishing the first season, and I have loved it so far. It is one of those shows where everyone talks about it, and you always want to watch it, but then you just never get around to watching it. So I've been like very intimidated by TVT, but I picked it up and I love it, and it's a great watch. I'm using it as like my token show of now, where I'm just like it's the one show I have on whenever I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. So that's my current obsession for the week, the month, and I think the next few months as well. Getting into the topic for today, glow ups, glow up trends, glow up transitions, before and after reels, YouTube videos on how to glow up in 30 days. I am sure we've all had those dark nights or we're having existential crises and questioning everything in our life and decide, I'm gonna glow up. And we watch those 30-minute videos on YouTube where it's like everything you can do in 30 days to become a better version of yourself and glow up. So, what are these glow up videos for those of you who are not familiar with it? It is basically these transformation videos or routines or diets, tips and tricks, all of these things that come under sort of an ecosystem that's built with just anything that promotes either physical fitness, physical health, uh, body image issues, like anything that promotes bettering one's physical appearance. Sometimes these also go into like financial advice or like general career. Like sometimes it seeps, like the boundaries are a little bit blurry and it seeps into other things. But these tips and tricks and transformation videos almost sum up the most of what it is or the surface of it. But these are the newer ones. But I feel like glow up videos or transformation videos have been around forever because the earliest one I can think of is Princess Diaries and how the Princess of Geneva has like a amazing transformation. She straightens her curly hair and suddenly she's gorgeous. So I think that's like the earliest memory I have of a glow up sort of video or anything along those lines. But the main difference between the Princess of Genovia having a glow up and the ones that you see on social media is that the ones on social media, on TikTok or on YouTube, seem more attainable or they seem more real. And I like to use the word seem because it may not be 100% attainable or 100% real, but it seems like so. Um, but again, I don't want to sit here and start bashing these glow up videos or these transformation videos because there are definitely positives to these. Just like anything in the world, there are two sides to a coin and there are positives. One of the main ones is the fact that motivation. It provides immense amounts of motivation for someone who is sitting and feeling incredibly negative about themselves, about their body, about any aspect of themselves. Watching someone else sort of transform and become a better version of themselves is incredibly motivating. And so in that sense, I definitely think that it is positive and it is motivating, it's affirming, and it promotes a lot of healthy habits. Healthy eating and exercising and keeping a healthy routine and managing and maintaining your healthy habits is something that definitely needs to be promoted. And these glow up videos, one thing that they do right is promote healthy eating and promote healthy exercise and stress the importance of these things. So I think that is also another thing that's incredibly positive and good about these things. And it also helps you personally set goals. Now, watching somebody else do it in like a month, or these different challenges that come from influencers or authors or things like that, or fitness gurus, sort of help you set a standard or set a goal where you're like, okay, I want to achieve this goal by this point in time, which is again helpful. Setting goals is the first step. And if it gets you to do that, then that's that. Another one is constructive comparison. Now, this is something that I feel like is definitely a double edged sword that more often than not goes wrong. So, comparison can sometimes be constructive. Comparing yourself to somebody who is better at something that you aspire to be good at is great to a certain extent. But the most positive thing, in my opinion, is the fact that it gives you a feeling of inclusivity. It gives you a feeling that you're not the only one out there who's struggling with issues, who's struggling with whatever it is that you want to get better at, whatever it is that you want to be glowed up at. It gives you the confidence that you're not the only one battling it. And such confidence and such positivity can be incredibly helpful in a lot of cases to a lot of people. But all of these things, like I said, also have the negatives. And in this case, I do think the scale is a bit tipped towards negatives because there's more negatives than positives here. And with comparison, like I said, negative comparison, which impacts your self esteem really bad sometimes. Because watching someone on the internet achieve their dream body and your dream body can be incredibly negative to your self-esteem because it makes you feel like you're being lazy, makes you feel like you're not putting enough into it. But while maybe that person has a better body, better genetic makeup that helps them to lose weight faster or put on weight faster or like get your hair to grow quicker or whatever it is that you want to achieve, maybe it is more often than not, it is actually their individual case that helps them to achieve the goals more quicker or more slower than you. And this lack of almost the lack of addressing this subjectivity or this case to case difference is what a lot of times ends up affecting people a lot. Because this generalization of saying that, oh, this diet is definitely going to be the one to help you lose all the fat, this diet is going to help you gain all the muscle. This is very misleading because each diet also depends on the person consuming that diet. How your body reacts to those foods, how your body reacts to those routines is also important in this case, I think. And the generalization really does kill this one element. Another one is that oftentimes these routines only focus on physical well being and well being that is sort of visible to the naked eye. So it may tell you to fix your skin. It may help you fix your skin as is. It may help you fix your body, but it may not help you fix the stress that is causing the acne that's irritating your skin. It may not help you understand why you yourself is having body image issues. It may not help you understand where the conditioning for your body image issues come from and how to heal it. It'll give you a quick and easy solution. Not exactly easy, a quick solution. But is that solution going to last you long? And what guarantee do you have that you will not bounce back to exactly who you are if you follow these really strictly physical sort of rule books or strictly physical transformation guides? And that exactly is what Olivia Dandres talks about in one of her videos on YouTube that I definitely think you should check it out. It's called How Glowing Up Ruined My Life. I think this is a very eye opening video. When I was researching for this episode, I watched the entire video start to finish. And what I understood from what she was trying to say is how this trend actually tricks you into achieving short term goals that may be satisfactory in the moment, but in the long run end up affecting you mentally in a way that you will retort right back to where you started. And she also talks about how unforgiving society is, and social media specifically is, when it comes to these glow up trends. Because once you glow up, you are never allowed to return back to the way you were. Don't even think about going back to the weight that you once were. We don't care if it was a health issue. We don't care if you're going through something mentally. We don't care if you lost your job. Once you glow up, you're not allowed to go back to the person that you were used to be. And that is incredibly toxic. And she specifically talks about how it affected her mental health. And it is so, so toxic. The ecosystem around there is so toxic that even the slightest of retorting back to who you were is considered as a huge crime. Which, the number one thing you have to know about any journey is the fact that progress isn't linear. So reaching your goal momentarily and then having a setback or two, it'll affect you, and it's sad and it's crushing and it drains all of the motivation out of you, but it's part of the process. Failing is also a part of success. And social media and these glow up videos, these transformation reels, before and after ones, they have no, you cannot find these minor setbacks anywhere in there. You will just see the start date or the 40-day challenge, you will just say day 1 and day 40. You may not see how on day 25 you may have lost all of the progress that you've gained so far. These social media trends leave out a lot of important nuanced information of how progress is also not linear. Like we were talking about the idea of sort of the fact that it's multidimensional, and how these videos on the internet don't really sort of encompass the two-dimensional or multidimensional nature of these glow ups, and how in reality it may be much more nuanced than they show up on social media. And that brings me to the idea of how the bar just keeps on going higher. It's a little bit off topic, but whenever I open the internet, there's always a new insecurity. And it's actually insane because every time I open social media and I'm scrolling through, they're talking about like either like, oh, it's so ugly when you have like a unibrow, or like just there's always a new insecurity. There's always gonna be like some part of your body that they're gonna target and find an insecurity about. And there's always something new to feel insecure about. And there's always gonna be an attached product. And there's going to be like, oh, but this is what you're supposed to do. Like, they're always gonna be like, chubby cheeks are so like not it. And then here's the gua sha routine that I use to have a sculpted jawline. And I'm not shaming gua sha, but it's just that there's the trend of something new every day. The bar just keeps on going higher when it comes to glowing up. Like, you have to do something new every day to keep up with it, which just makes me think of the idea that this whole trend, this whole thing might be less to do with personal progress and more to do with societal standards. It has more to do with kind of meeting, kind of getting as close as you can possibly get to the most desirable beauty standard, and less to do with getting as close as you can to your best version. So, this is where I feel like it is so crazy, and how there's so many things, there's so many different tips and tricks, so oversaturated. If I have to like Google like workout tips to get rid of, I don't know, arm fat, then there's gonna be so many different things, so many conflicting opinions, and so many people say, oh, this is what you should do, this is what you should never do, this is what you should drink, this is what you should never drink, this is the diet you should follow. There's gonna be so many opinions, and they're all gonna be conflicting. And honestly, I think it's quite overwhelming for somebody who just wants to start. And with that, it brings like mentioning all of these kind of products and supplements, diets, workout routines, coaches, There's an entire economy built around this, and it is so sad that it is all almost built around insecurities. Again, it brings me back to my point of how it's so saturated and it's so difficult to sort of find what is good for you. And it brings back the point of subjectivity, that you just have to try. You just have to try and then try again and then try again until you find something that works for you, because it's just you have to find something that works for your body, for your economic standing, for your mental health. You just have to find something that works for you, and it's going to be a journey of trial and error until you find what's best for you. But again, I think from going back to kind of everything that I've said and trying to sum it all up, what can you really do to like not fall into the traps of this glow up culture, and how to try and stay away from it as much as you can? I think the best tip that I've heard, or the best tip that I've found so far from everything that I've read and researched about this, is to try to become intentional and to try to make your intentions have more to do with yourself and your personal goals and what you want to achieve versus what may be considered as the most ideal standard today. So, when you're setting goals for yourself or when you're planning your glow up journey, plan it in accordance with what works best for your body, what works best for your sort of lifestyle, and what stage in your life you are at, what works for your wallet. Because these routines and these tips are also very expensive to come by. These products are very expensive to come by, and these lifestyles also sometimes are quite expensive to maintain. So, to set goals for yourself that is sort of aligned with who you are and who you want to become, and also aligned with sort of your lifestyle, like I said, try as much as you can to make these goals stem from your personal need to want to become a better version of yourself rather than having to do with fitting into societal standards. I know it's incredibly easy for me to sit here and say this while it's difficult. I'm acknowledging it and I'm saying it. It's difficult to not hear the society because it's everywhere. It's difficult to not hear the beauty standards. It's difficult to not look into the mirror, see yourself, and think all the things that's wrong with you. And it might not be all the things that are actually wrong with you. It might just be what society is telling you. And it's incredibly difficult to actually look back at yourself and say, no, I'm going to do these because I want to be better. I want to see myself in a different way. And it's difficult and it's hard, but trying and approaching from this perspective and from this angle makes the progress worth it, makes the progress sort of lasting longer. And again, with everything that I said, I also want to sort of say that I'm not giving out any dietary advice. Anything I've said so far was just examples that I've mentioned. And I also want to mention that it is easy for me to sit here and talk about these things, but it is a completely different process. It's a completely different headspace for someone who's going through these issues and wants to better themselves, and who, for someone who feels like they will do anything it takes to get to feeling better about themselves, then that's their journey. Then that's their personal journey, and then that's your personal approach to it. But I don't want to sit on this pessimistic thought any longer. So I am going to wrap it up with the thought, let's all just try to be a little bit more intentional when setting our goals. Let's try to be kinder to ourselves, kinder to the people around us as well. And yeah, and I hope that you can come knocking whenever you want. Bye.